Flight Centre is always seen as having a fantastic culture, a lot of opportunities to advance throughout the business as well, which also then leads to that great tenure. That would have been heavily impacted through everything you just mentioned there during COVID. Where's the business at now? And I know during prep you also mentioned some things you guys are doing to even push that forward again, moving forward.
Yeah, I think our culture actually helped us survive, to be honest. We've got a ridiculously good culture, that work hard, play hard mentality, and it really is. It's a work hard, play hard mentality. We don't take ourselves too seriously, and this is a big thing coming from Screw, you know. We don't take ourselves too seriously. Take our customers seriously. We work hard, we play hard. I don't think, I always talk about culture eats strategy for breakfast, and I think in the pandemic that rang very, very true, because there was no strategy during the pandemic. You threw the rule book out the window. The strategy was survival day by day, week by week, month by month. And culture, and I think the culture is what kept us together. How do you build this culture? It starts from the top. You can't put it in a manual. You can't put it online and ask everyone to read it. You got to walk that culture, walk and talk that culture. And I think Screw down to every single leader within the business has that. We've got a very flat structure. We don't have PAs. We don't have corner offices. We sit in open plan offices. Just yesterday, myself and our CMO walked up to Screw's desk and had a good 15-minute conversation with him. That's how accessible everyone is. We have buzz nights every month. We brought that back. So obviously during the pandemic, that went, and that's a big culture enabler. So a buzz night basically is an open bar until 3 p.m. And everyone starts to speak a little bit easier as well. The area leader or the nation leader stands up, does a bit of a presentation, talks about the month's results, good or bad. So real honest conversations. And we celebrate generally the successes. And if there's no successes to celebrate, we don't celebrate. We go, how do we make sure this time next month we celebrate again? We're very much accountable. We have leaderboards and sales incentives for all our people. We actually do, coming out of the pandemic, we actually changed the way we incentivize our salespeople. We used to incentivize them on commission, and I think it's common knowledge airlines moved away from paying agency distribution commissions. We now actually incentivize our people on sales. So it might be a domestic booking on Jetstar, or it might be a 25-night holiday to Europe. Our people are incentivized on sales, which means they take the customer far more seriously as well. So we're very innovative. We listen to our people. I'm a firm believer that it's customer-centric. Customer-centric, what's the NPS score? What's your CSAT scores look like? Because your customers will tell you quite quickly whether you are living up to those expectations. And then the other one I've pivoted to is our people. So what are our people saying? We know the whole cliche, happy people, happy customers, but great place to work for us. Those survey results have been very powerful. We started on a 67% great place to work result for the brand globally this time last year. And because of the feedback, because we showed intent, because we changed a few things, we've moved up to 73% in the space of 8 months on the latest Pulse survey. So again, look, we're talking at the bar earlier to people. We are very much a people business. We'll have technology that will enable us to be better. AI, or let's talk about that a little bit later, but you got all of that happening as well. But we use technology to enable us to be better, make your people feel part of a world-class brand, a world-class business. Yes, the brand needs to be profitable, but sustainably profitable as well. I know in the Australian landscape, there's a lot of talk on big corporates making lots of money. That's not the case. You want to grow sustainably. And let them be part of something special. We're all about storytelling in Flight Centre. We love a story. And I think it comes from, because we've all been children before. Anyone here not been a child before? But we've all been kids before, and certainly with us, we love telling a story, and people buy into a story, and I think that's authentic leadership. If people feel that you're normal and you've also got problems when you go home, it certainly helps. So that flat structure, certainly driven from the top, certainly helps drive a really strong culture that we all lead from the front as well.
Absolutely love it. Well said. We work hard, play hard, and it sounds like there's also a high level of accountability. Do you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. Because, you've got to live up to expectations in the evening as well as expectations first thing at 8 a.m. And you can see those that have been around for a long time. Yeah, they do it over and over and over again. Those that don't fit the culture, we okay for people to go. We really are. But you've got to fit into the culture and you've got to love the culture. My sister's an industrial engineer, lives in Germany, so well educated. And every time I get to see her in December, she'll say, I'm so envious of you. Like, you found Flight Centre. And I'll go, yeah, I am very, very lucky. I found a company that I enjoy and the company enjoys my personality type as well. And it's very rare that you get that. You talk about Brass for Future. I started my career as a corporate sales BDM. And today I'm running one of the largest travel brands, out of Australia and globally as well. So humbled, people take chances on you if you have the right aptitude and attitude. And there's a lot of leaders to thank along the way. They've taken the risk in giving me some opportunities along the way.
You said, this is going back a couple of years ago, what keeps me up at night is seasonality returning, pressures on economy, and interest rates going up. Now, again, this is going back 2 or 3 years ago. So I was interested, with all the changes and post-COVID and everything we've just been talking about, what's currently potentially keeping you up, looking at the next 12 to 18 months that we might be able to relate to as well?
Yeah, I think for all of us as business leaders, it's been uncharted territory since March of 2020. It really has. If you think of where we are today, we've got many global wars happening. We've got cost of living pressures. We've got hybrid working environments where it's hard to get people back into the office, but senior leadership wants you back in the office because it drives culture. People are leaving. People are rebelling against that. Interesting. You've got leadership changes, which you've seen in the UK and France. You've got US on the cards. You've got Australia soon as well. It's a changing landscape. And more importantly as well, you've got customers who have got far more power than they've ever had before as well. Choice and the power of this thing called a mobile phone, which it's confronting in many ways because there's a shift and there's so much choice, and everything's at speed. Hence, Bezos for me is a mentor. I sort of really look to him because I think the way he's trying to move the business forward, he's changing the landscape of retail in many ways. But these challenges are real. People keeping talent, making sure you stay up to the pay grade of, sort of those skilled individuals in your business. And I think the world is changing and it's changing at a rapid rate. How do you keep growing? I think it's a growth cycle for all of us. We came out of the pandemic, survived, and then we had this purple patch of unprecedented demand. We couldn't keep up. And I'm sure there's lots of customers here that will grab me afterwards and say, you still haven't got back to my quote or my email inquiry or something. And I do apologize. We were inundated. But it was just that period. We were so busy. And now we've gone back to normality and we've forgotten about what normal is. But normal's also not normal anymore. So, we don't have the answers. I suppose, again, is how do you hang on to your talent? How do you ring fence your leadership? How do you work towards being back in a very competitive sales environment, which you're seeing, particularly in the airline space? You'll see this and you'll love this, is that airfares are coming down. Hallelujah. We've been, advocating for this. More seats in Australia drives down airfares, all those things. But airfares are starting to come down. Why? Because demand's starting to slow. And there's more capacity out there. But that's a good thing. So ideally, at the end of the day, for us, it's ever-changing environment. Some things are out of our control. And a lot of what I've just spoken about is probably out of our control. We then, as a business, always say, well, what's in our control? What can we actually do as a business that's in our control? And there's probably a laundry list, which would be my strategy page, which I can not share with anyone, but I suppose what is in our control, and it's those things as in your culture, your people, your product manufacturing, the way you price, the way you promote your product in stores, the way you promote your product online using the different channels. So channel optionality today, even though I talk about the mobile phone, it's an enabler to grow your business. The online channels are enablers. What we're trying to navigate is that online channels, and I'm sure you'll feel it here, are probably not as profitable as your shop channels, where you're making better basket sizes are bigger. Yeah, margins are probably potentially better as well. But it's all these things we're navigating as a business. It's changing. Customers have choice, and customers are very vocal on where they spend their money, which is a good thing because it keeps us all competitive again.
So we've all established you're very, very busy. Why on earth have you added another thing to your agenda? Why the CEO sleep, and what does it mean to you?
The reason for it, quite simply, is that we've got homelessness within our family. My dad's brother lived on the streets for many years. He was married, he had kids, and his 10-year-old son died of leukemia. And that just was a tipping point for him. And he landed up, turning to alcohol, got divorced. His 2 girls have grown up to both be doctors, but he passed away on the streets. So it's close to home. You don't realize how close it is. So even on the night, I think I mentioned that the following day, but I phoned my dad up and I said, Dad, I'm actually on this event, and it's just this is going to do this for Uncle Theodore. We come from a German background, Uncle Theodore, and my dad was quite touched by it as well. But yeah, it's close to home, and I think it's all around us. And if you want to ignore it, you can ignore it, and you think life's perfect. But if you want to look for it, it's everywhere. And I think we've all got an obligation, as much as it's about planting trees or doing good for that, but do what's good for you in your local communities.